Ah, yes. Fantastic. It did. It worked. You may notice I'm leaning over. It's because I was trying to reach something that was a little bit out there. Anyhow, whew, starting a bit late again, aren't I? 4:27, huh? I have a fleeting feeling I need to turn down my lighting a teeny tiny bit. What? Up, up, there. Not too bright, not too harsh. Anywho, hello, Nugget, Pebbles, Reem, Python, Naki, Jeffs. Now let's make the stream simmer a little bit and then we do the little greetings that I usually do. Do you know what day it is, chat? Yeah, you don't have to be the religious type in order to know what the old white, red, mustache, white beard and gifts and sleighs would be about. Yes, it's Christmas, chat. That special time of the year. Ho, ho, ho. Hello, Fluffy. Yeah, yeah, already. Hmm. You know, maybe Saint Nick actually passed art school, and that's why he's out there nice and jolly. I'm echoing. I'm echoing, am I? Let me double check. I am not sure. Oh, oh, hold on, hold on. Let's try and solve that. Yeah. Ah, okay. But it told me. Why is there an echo? Is this better? There. There. How about now? Is there still an echo? Check. Checking. 1, 2. And maybe I should not stream here again. Check. 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 1. 1. Okay, how about now? It should be gone, right? Is it gone? Is it there? Good. Oh, that is bizarre. Because it means nobody can hear the music then. It sounds good now. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try something. Maybe if we make it stay. Okay. Why is there an echo? That is strange. You know, here's what we're gonna do. How's this? Is this better? Check 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know about the audio quality, but wish me luck. Now, going back to to chat. I heard the ka-ching ching. That is Fluffy giving a little toss of support. Thank you so much. There's a bunch of people who secretly tossed some stuff while I wasn't there. But, oh well. Music plus no double. Thank you so much, Clock App people. What's this? So quick from Daniel Loveset. I haven't even been here 5 minutes. So much love. Reading back on chat because I've been missing much. Mitzi is greeting Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, and I hope you start getting more sleep this time. Knowing you, you've been missing out on a lot. Let me zoom out a bit so people can see me better. Hello, fellow jazz enjoyer. Yes, jazz is my jam. Stare out, Taki. Guilty as charged. Get more rest, silly. Remo's also here. Good, good. I'm at work currently, but I can't stay. But happy holidays. You have a fantastic day as well. 18 months,
Merry
Mio.
Christmas, Jebby Gibboporn.
That's a year and a half. Hello, Mio. I'm surprised you dropped by. So glad to see an old face here. Hey, man, the jacket looks good on you. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. This is my Christmas outfit. People wear, you know. Gab, you should dress up for Christmas. Put a Santa hat. I don't want to put a Santa hat. It ruins the hair. So I thought of the next best thing, which is, well, the jacket. Let's see. Ta-da! Better angle. Christmas brains. Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm glad you are. I haven't seen you in a hot minute. I thought you were consumed by whatever games you were, playing. To be playing Counter-Strike. The 0.1000 chance of dropping a skin. Maybe you can make money out of it. I'm sorry I won't stay, says Naki. Your avatar is too hot and I can't assure your safety as pet. That is a very, very creative way to give me a compliment. But yeah, thanks. Too hot? My gosh, look at my environment. It's nothing but snow. Zoom out a bit, and there you go. Have a better view. You sound like one of those smart class and on-point villains in a good way. Me, a villain? Why do people always say I sound evil? Do I sound like I'm up to no good, chat? Am I one of those characters? Please. I mean, sure, I'm not good all the time because on the hierarchy of importance, it always should be oneself before somebody else. So maybe that's a contributing fact. Anyway, I am babbling again. Merry Christmas, everybody. Well, at least on my end of the globe. Is it Christmas at your place? 4 hours, huh? If it's not Christmas, at least it's Christmas Eve, right? The evening in which a lot of people are preparing their dinners with family, friends, loved ones, anybody in between. Man, if only I had a fireplace to cozy up. Must be really nice. Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome back. The algorithm really is telling you what you are, mini-meeks. I haven't been here for about 3 months, says Mio. Anything new in life? Going business or going? I managed to move apartments, Mio. Now the fundraiser, I just ditched that. I know it's never gonna happen. But the fundraiser now is for me to get a particular motorcycle. A bike, so I can go drive around, maybe buy some groceries, mentally restore myself by having new stimuli, fresh air, drive out of the city. Such a nice thought. But for now, it is but a thought and most definitely a goal. Why, if it isn't Anubis? Hi, missed me, huh? Well, here I am. It's Christmas, so I said, hey, why not, right? If it isn't somebody on the naughty list, Doran. But you know what? I'm gonna let things slide because I saw you post your tiny teeny bit see Christmas tree filled with love. So Merry Christmas, Doran. Honda Africa Twin says. Yes, I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying to earn money so I can get it. Daniel. Hello. There we go. My audio is gone. So sorry about that. My wireless mic just ran out of battery. Why do I always forget to charge the damn thing? Anywho, where were we? I was saying thank you to Anubis. I was saying thank you to Daniel for sending the funny, the blue thing. Matey, we can't hear ya, says user. I'm back. Professional streamer. Things sometimes fumble, okay? It happens. Especially if you're a one-man, studio. What's this? Just realized you look really similar to a mob boss in a story project. Chat, I am anything but a criminal. I know a certain somebody who's purple, who's most definitely, boss energy. I'm just a guy, chat. Now, where were we? What do you mean on the Nautilus? What have I done? It's not what you have done, it's more of what you haven't done. You should know. One of Santa's little elves told me something about the please, thank yous, and whatnot. Vesper says, yeah, definitely. Long car ride, going to be a long day, but looking forward to hopefully to be able to play some games with my favorite lizard when I get home. You and I, and whoever wants to join, more than welcome. Let's catch up on those SHG levels, yeah? Hello, Dip. Salis is here on stream. Hi, Geb. I'm still with family, but I'm here to support with a lurk. I hope you have a great stream. You too. I hope you have a good day. Pardon me, my voice is still a bit stressed. You see, last night, prior to me logging out, I had a bit of a laughing session. You know when a joke just hits you so hard, you laugh to the point you nearly pass out, and your throat just becomes really hoarse after. You have a favorite lizard. Who is he? Well, of course I know that guy. That's me. Hello, Zerda. Well, we meet again. Welcome to the stream. Now, let's see. Where's the good old two-sided thing? Happy Christmas, Geb, says Bombar. Well, you too. I hope you're soaring great. I blame Matthew. I do definitely blame Matthew. That damn owl. Now, Geb is my favorite lizard, says Vesper. Yes, the question was actually, should be directed to Vesper, not me. Sorry about the confusion. Christmas at this hour, says the big old African doggy wasp. Merry Christmas, Mr. Detective. May you have a wonderful one. You too. I hope you are able to find 10 out of 10 of the bones you have buried in the yard. Look at that. Zerda is dead set about not only making me feel the Christmas spirit, generosity. It seems somebody is also pushing for me to come back to a certain platform consistently. You know, I was debating about that. Should I go back? Should I be here yet again? Hmm. We'll see. We'll see. Let's give it a trial run until the end of the year. Somebody was going for a Sportster 1200, huh? Ooh. Maybe. 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 Razor Bill going on all out with the fancy wording, yes. Laugh part, yes, says Waffle. No true problem. What? But the stomach pain after the good laughter. Yes, you know you're having a fantastic time when the stomach cramps comes after laughing. Yeah. How are you, everyone? What are you doing this Christmas Eve? Are you in the kitchen? Are you watching me through a phone while prepping dinner? Do you already have your gifts prepared? Or maybe you're in the unwrapping part? Did you end up with some new underwear, socks, or maybe perfume to be added to your collection? Or gifts any at all? Physically, I have yet to receive any gifts, now that I think about it. But that's completely okay. Look, you know what makes me happy? A card, a little note, anything handwritten, right? Something immortalized, well, at least to the maximum lifespan of the medium being written on. The ink before it fades. But doesn't that just romanticize it more? Give it more value? Hello, Lainey. Oh my gosh, I still don't know how to pronounce your name. Merry Christmas. I love the Sportster's noise. Yes. Am I real? Am I not? I don't know, Alexius. I'm going to two parties, says Sorelin. Wow. One for friends, one for family. Seems like you are very much needed in attendance. Just checking. Is lack of category intentional? Really? Oh my goodness, you are correct. What the heck? Done. Updated. What? Which means the people joining me in my stream are 100% organic, from my followers at least. Hey. Thanks for catching that, Bomber. I don't know why it reset. The friends equals family, that's true. Sometimes our true family are the ones not related by blood. How's everyone? I'm kind of off and also hungry. I'm considering I've already eaten. You see, that's the thing. Most of the time, we're already physically full, right? But because the servings, the food, everything is just so good, we wish we have a second stomach so we could indulge more. But alas, that treads a fine line between indulgence and gluttony. Christmas Day has come to an end and resting. Really? Well, what time zone are you on that it's already the 26th? Car trip will get into Grandma's place, says Vesper. I need to see them before we head to the party. Say hello to them. Tell them a black and blue lizard is sending their regards. We're like, what? Nothing. They're both family parties, continues Sorlin. It would be one party, but some family members would... I see. So, side A, side B, one's red, one's blue, and they don't like each other's color. Got it. Merry Christmas. Merry Squishmas. Squishmas. A black and blue handsome. Look. I'm definitely not a 10 out of 10, but at least I try to be the best 7 out of 10 I can be. Waffle Carp says, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th in Estonia. Ah, well, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Squishmas, the hug I'll give. I guess you can give it later once you're in VRC, yeah. And for those of you new, yes, I am holding a community meet. For those of you that are in the Discord and you wanna go mingle, make friends, you're lonely during this Christmas, now is the opportunity. I'll be there too. 11 out of 10 is the lowest score I can give. Wow, you're really buttering me up, huh? I am but a humble lizard. I am not a dragon by any means. You see, dragons, my greater kin, they have horns, right? More prominent scales all over. I'm also smooth skin with a bit of plating. And the most defining feature, most of them are capable of flight or fire breath. I have none of those. Oh yeah. Are you a yellow fish? There. They can see me. A yellow fish? What do you mean a yellow fish, Dim? Dim, how about you go eat some Christmas dinner? Imagine having a gibbous for Christmas. Yes. Right. Gab, did you celebrate Christmas Eve dinner? I actually did. I was invited over for some sashimi, so it was fish. Some salmon, some tuna, some sea urchin, and I forgot the other thing. It was a white and pinkish meat. What's this? Another galaxy from Stellar. My gosh. The spirit of giving truly is rife in the air, isn't it? Thank you. What's this? Why in every place you have smoke coming out from your mouth, Mr. Geb? This actually isn't smoke. That is the minty freshness that's in my breath. Oh, yes. Always brush your teeth, Chan. Have nice, cool, icy, very smoochable breath. Smooch ready, rather. I hope you have a good Christmas Eve too, Busky. No, Stellar, you are the one that's nice. Stop being flirty. Oh, you haven't seen me being flirty yet. This is just me talking to, well, whoever else. What? Did you want me to play the whole note in which attention is more directed towards you? Wish I could. But there's just so much, and it wouldn't be fair if I were to deprive the others of me being here, right? Cyan VRC says, Hi Kip, it's the first time I catch you streaming. I love your content. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like what you see. Stay tuned for more because I will most definitely still be streaming. If I could stream on New Year's, I would. January 1, I will be there. I can't do it for New Year's countdown though, but probably the day before and the day after. Is this a new model? If you consider new like 4 months old, then yes. I'm deceased. What is the flag in your profile picture? That's where I'm from. I'm from Southeast Asia, Chan. The Philippines. Little equatorial country. Lots of traffic, really cheap rent and food, well, compared to the States and Europe at least. Most of all, a whole darn lot of beaches. Good night, Pepe. You know, frankly, I'm surprised with the amount of people watching. Don't you have some Christmas stuff to do? Not that I'm complaining, that is. A Filipino dragon. More like a Filipino blizzard, but I'll take the compliment. Our fuel is 1.38 euros for Octane 95. Oh. It's expensive. It is definitely more expensive. I hope you have a wonderful holiday this year, says Sanford Michael. It's funny, people with second names on their name. I actually like it better. Thanks. Dex Amun. What's up, Gebus? Nice to finally catch you. Well, hi. Welcome to the Christmas special. I'm just glad I'm not stuttering. Normally, when I exist in two places at once, that sort of happens. I do not wish for that to occur any further. Of course, it's Stratsky. Hi, Stratsky. Did you manage to nick some cash? I won't tell if you give me 20%. I wish I have the way you smile since my smile sucks. A smile is determined not solely by the quality of one's presentation, but by the confidence behind it. Make a smile genuine, not nice. Hey, Frosty. Merry Christmas. What a apt name for the weather we're having right now. Snowfall. Virtual, at least. How much does a simple VR chat character cost in PHP? You can find models that are free over at Boot or Gumroad, but normally they run around $30, $40, maybe $55. Namamas ko po. Patawad, wala pa akong pera. Namamas ko po in Filipino as there's the I'm greeting you Merry Christmas and that means I'm asking for money. Is that what I'm doing? Namamas ko po. Namamas ko po. It's also determined by the quality of your schnoz. Is it now? 5.5K is a lot. Oh. It's a... Listen, how much is a live 2D model? And can you do all of this with a live 2D model? No, you can't. Then again, you need a VR headset, you need full body tracking, a good PC. And the hardware requirement is a teeny tiny bit steep. 55. No. $30. I didn't say $300. Look, the Hydra G, last I checked was, I think $35. That's 1,800 pesos. Ah, then it's probably formed by habit when you're not confident with a smile. I've seen men with crooked teeth or worse, you know, still smile oh so heartily. It's about translating that feeling of happiness to another via the gesture. The wow, smile. Hello, Jack. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. I had some okay food yesterday and uh surprisingly graced me to a lot of people today. Mmm. Toss a coin to your witching. Toss a coin to your lizard. But anywho, yeah, back to my question. Nobody answered. What are you guys up to? Are you not cooking? Are you done with eating? Are you rushing to get a Christmas gift? Where's the gorgeous flame tonight? She is on a ride to her family members. So no Vesper, Emma. Merry Christmas, though. Dealing with children. Maybe not so Merry Christmas for you, call sign broken. Ooh. I'm drawing while watching. Good luck. You too. Because Vesper's not here, Emma's just gonna like swipe up, move to another streamer. Of course. Music Hag is working on a drawing gift for a friend, and I'm also talking with you. Ah, hi. Feeling a bit jolly. Jolly. Emma, look at chat. Vesper replied. I'm chilling by the fire. A couple of feet forward and you would be burning with said flame. Evening. I hope you all have a great Christmas Eve. You too. Toss a coin to your Twitcher. There you go. My Bombar. I'm weight painting. A great Xmas Eve activity. I mean, you get the blues, the yellows, the greens, and the reds. It's sort of Christmassy, right? I'm doing the dishes so I can cook later, says Andre. Oh, make sure you don't smash any of them so they don't, like, cross you off the list of people getting gifts. Well, if it isn't Christmas Geb, exclamation point tip. Hello, Axiom. How you doing? Love the outfit, of course, thanks. Gotta fit the background after all. When did you get this new updated avatar? If you look through my timeline, well, my gallery at least, you will find out when exactly, but I roughly guesstimate 3 or 4 months ago. Not that long, really. Now I can't breathe fire, chat. What time is it for everyone? It's 9 p.m. in Ireland, says Emma. Ireland, I see. It is currently 5 a.m. here. Oh, yes, I'm usually awake at this hour. I finally managed to get 8 hours of sleep, albeit it was a 70-30 sort of deal. I was sleeping the big chunk of 5 hours earlier, stayed up for a bit, ate dinner, and then I went to bed again. Hence me starting stream a tad bit later than usual. I still have recorded in my mind that thing about me being the guest. I am the guest. Christmas stream, great. Matthew, thank you so much for the gift. You know, nothing warms my heart more than getting nice, cold, hard cash. I mean, I'm sorry, I mean like a Christmas card, right? handwritten, full of intent and love, meant to be kept until the twilight of your years. So thank you, Matthew. Here. Moi. Okay, never mind. And then the music starts, and then he's being carried over by the. Mhm. I missed the goggles, says Valtvi. Hey, I want to direct you over to my thigh. Ah, hold on. You see this? This is the goggles. No, don't bring that up. Your throat will cease to function. That's true. Oh my, what happened to my body? That is absolutely not how I should look. Let us zoom in. Hi. Look at this weird pose I have. Let me fix this. Your shirt is clipping under the tie. I know because my tracker is untracking. There we go. I think that fixed it. 1, 2. There we go. Come on, buddy. Work. Ah, no. What happened? What did I do? Oh my goodness, it corrected itself. Tracker. None of this is real. No, I didn't say anything. Clearly not pretending this is just a VR chat stream so the funny scientists don't find and abduct me. I really like this fancy coat. This fancy smancy coat. Look at that. Yes. What does that pattern mean? Well, that's the pattern on my back. Should I show you guys real quick? What? There you go, chat. Pattern on the back. Merry Christmas. Of course, I'm not showing the front. Oh, yes, Matthew. Until now, I am suffering from the consequences of our extended laughter. That was nuts. I needed it. Even though it did spike my blood pressure up, laughing so hard and so much, I don't think the girlies appreciated our humor. But boys will be boys, right? I got a tattoo of an AK-47 on my back. Amazing. A permanently holstered rifle. Great character design. Nice. Thanks. Unless the bar in the bottom doesn't fill up magically by a Christmas miracle, we won't get the front. I don't know, chat. That's you know, I like money, but that's kind of weird. Ho ho ho! And then I just remove my coat. And then I reveal that I actually have an AD account that After Dark. Disclaimer, that was a joke. I don't have any such accounts, okay? Oh, nope, not that. Nah, sorry, my lighting messed up. Hello, Lucky. There's my favorite Filipino dragon. Dragon D's. I'm a lizard. But yes. And blessed holidays again. You too. Maligayang Pasko. Sir, I have a request. I don't know if I can fulfill it. It depends. Thanks, Cap. No tats for me. I don't know what I'd get. Same here. I don't have any ink on this canvas. A bioluminescent lizard. Spot on. Putting a squad on finding Geb's AD. But you can try, please, by all means. It's not there. Do you have anyone famous to collab with? I'm not much of a collaborator, chat. I don't know. Networking, like networking in the VTubing sphere, streaming sphere, unless you know them IRL, they're actually your friend. Prior to streaming, I would not suggest. Remember, it's a dog eat dog world out there. We're all just using each other as stepping stones in order to get higher. That's the harsh truth of it. It's a business. And I don't want to be involved in sort of any form of fake friendships and whatnot. So I'd rather do it slower. But at least it's so genuine into my hard work and effort without using anybody else. Hey, collab with me. I'll have to politely pass. You get too attractive, E621 will definitely get a submission by someone. You know what? Catcalling, funny fan art. I can't retweet them or anything, but know that I feel absolutely flattered if they exist. Happy holidays, Wallace. Do not step on your friends, yes, unless they're into that, which means you do not step on them even more. We saw what Shopa posted yesterday. Oh yeah, I could have sworn Matthew made a comment about it. I like the gender bent art made of you. If you go to my Discord, you can see my gender bent version. I don't know. It was funny and lovely at the same time. Shopa is such an excellent artist. But that was me in my Nova Beast form. You too, Josie. You too. I would crush some Shopa. Some Shopa would be great right now, right? Steamed pork buns when you tear it open, just... Very good. It's funny, Zion's comment was looking disrespectfully. That gave me a good chuckle. Looking disrespectfully. Of course, I'm Filipino. If you have a pair of eyes, you go to my profile, you see the Philippine flag over at my bio. So you're like a Raytraxian lizard. What's Raytraxian? Do I use ray tracing? I mean, let's see. No, that's too much. I wish I could personally give you a Shopa, sir. You can always... No, don't. Never mind. Why? You gotta let the delivery drivers enjoy Christmas Eve. Come on, don't tell them to buy your food at this hour. Bonita Sims. Sims. I miss playing The Sims. You too, Mixed. Merry Christmas. You know what? I'm gonna alt-tab and look at my Discord real quick. And look at said art. Matthew says, what the heck, man? What is that gender bent art of you? Are you gonna make that an avatar, right? Of course you want me to make that. I don't know. Maybe by popular... Listen. When a time arrives where I really need money, I may consider doing it as a joke stream to appease the masses. It's funny on my part too, anyway. Merry Christmas. Looks like he answers only to Twitch. Listen, the clock app has a very aggressive auto screening of messages. So, my apologies if the system blocks what you're typing. It doesn't go through guaranteed. What's the model base? This is the Hydra Gia by TokyoZilla. What's this? 20 out of 10, both very kissable. How is it, Vesp? So you're the hot dog and we're the sandwich, right? Here's Geb and then Geb on the other end. Alright, gotta put on the glasses. Music Hack says, so ray tractions are bioluminescent creatures that are mostly created or relationated. What the heck is relationated? Related to gems or crystals that are luminescent. There's the name and can infect humans if they spend too much time. If anything, my skeletal system, aside from my teeth, is mostly made of crystal, if that makes sense. So closer to fact than fiction. Vicky the Rat says, this is a gentleman I would have a coffee with in the afternoon at 16:34 o'clock during late January. Like, you're setting a date already. Like an appointment already exists. But thanks. Yes, Hydra G. New word, relationated. I don't know if I should consider this as me getting smarter or me losing brain cells. Graywin says, yeah, it's kind of a pain how some messages get filtered. No indication it happens either. I would never know it got filtered either. Like, I wish it was like, you know, like the other platform where you could at least see the messages that was screened, then you could approve it or not. Why do you remind me of Santa from Rise of the Guardian? What Rise of the Guardian? What is that? I thought you were gonna call me. What's his name again? The Soviet super soldier. Oh man, I watched Thunderbolts. Why can I not remember his name? Out of curiosity, do you have a story project of some kind about your persona? Red Guardian. I absolutely love Thunderbolts. Listen, Thunderbolts is a good movie about heroes that are designed to be portrayed as lame. It's a movie. Jack Frost is there. I see. I hope that Santa was a good looking one though. Gotta watch that movie now. I gotta watch Polar Express. I remember Vesper mentioning this. You need to watch that coin. Maybe it's a trick coin, so I always win heads or tails, so I can control the odds. Perchance, hypothetically, maybe, mayhaps. I have not watched Polar Express yet. I'm not there to impact your brain cells, so don't blame me. Also, a total shutdown to have Geb and Geb left and right for Vesper. Right, one's on the top, one's on the left, one's on the right. Sandwich. Sorry, I was thinking like sandwich, top, bottom, and like the ham and cheese. Moving on. I would honestly love to watch it with you later. Sounds like a plan. Merry Christmas, Kobayashi. Ah, I see you're in uniform. Spectacular. Do you have any wings? Unfortunately, I am bereft of any appendages that grants me flight. Vesper has wings though. She can like fly around. Just adjust this thing up. As for stories about my persona, you go to my Discord. I have a rather old write up there about who and why and how I've come to be. I'm not what you expect me to be. There's a reason why I only have two colors in particular. The wings are on vacation, says Vesper. Correct. Gotta solve some armature issues. Morning and Merry Christmas. Good morning. It is the 25th. It's 5:17 a.m. Would you look at that? It seems a lot of people have already sat by the Christmas tree and opened their gifts, had their Noche Buenas, their nice old dinner. I hope you got good food. Let me guess, some fire dude behind this This is indeed VR chat. My platform of choice when it comes to streaming. Pause directly on snow must be cold. Yep. Let's have. Yep, they're cold, all right. Dang, for free? No, that was. Yeah, sure, why not? For you. You've given so much. Maybe they'll make you give more. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe playing this like the piano would motivate you. Vesper says, armature issues or I look into new wings. Whatever is easier for him to handle. New wings. I'm gonna let me explore the options first. The old wing system is actually really nice. Has the sounds, has the animations that automatically deploy when you're in flight. I just really have to work on it a little bit. Can you do a kaldag, Mr. Dragon? No, I cannot. Kaldag. Hi. Greetings. Man, it's 5:20. I bet so many people are from my country are waking up and they're like, of course, the first thing Filipinos do is not wash their face. No, they look at their smartphones and see what's new on social media. Plop down, snooze another 10 minutes, and decide to wake up. That's when the washing of the face ensues. The toothbrushing, the gargling, the fixing of the hair. You go, Geb, with mechanical wings so I can fit in with the. Oh, please. Having anything more metal on my persona is just gonna be clunky. I very much prefer the more organic side of things. Cyberware is really cool, though. Sounds like I'd fit in there. Where? Making a 52.5 plane model, a B47-8. You go focus on that model. Yes, I donate mine, but I need. No, please keep your wings. I'm completely fine. I have other means of locomotion. 5k euros for first time registration and 2k a year. 2k a year? Why is it so expensive? Thank goodness I don't have a Volvo then. Wind glow up, bro. Thanks, William. It means you've seen my old form. Christmas Eve, says Sean. Yes, true. If I use a jetpack, I'm no longer a dragon, says Vesper. Correct. It would be funny. I have some pictures of the bat flying in the air in a very, very humorous position. Hola? Should be aloha. What happened to Nova Gibbous? Nova Gibbous digivolved to Hydra Gibbous. Oh, look at that. It's Detective Santa on the case. Clearly looking for criminals and not money. That's for sure. Always on the job. What's this? Random, but opinion on Rat vs. Zone. Oh, I like how you change your name on the fly. Look, I've only really ran into one rat, and they were definitely ratty. Like, oh, it's a rat. And you start that. But anyway, I think they're funny. They are humorous, non-committal creatures. Oh, yeah, oh, shoot, the rat. Yeah, if you know, you know. You're giving Disney vibes. Ang galing. Ayos ba? Edi, lahat na natutunan ko sa animation school, na-apply natin. Omni... Omni, man. I need a funny mustache. Gee, that's the neat part. You don't. Somebody say rat zone. I have a mouse. Oh, a lady mouser. I have yet... No, a rat. No, a mouse, yeah. I have yet to meet a mouse. Normally they're smart and they're always vertically challenged. Imagine Kebos making a debut in a Disney Dragon movie. Let it... No, I'm not gonna break into song. Not yet. You look like a handsome gambler. Spot on. You see, back then, I did like to play a cool lot of games of Risk. Sometimes I win, sometimes I would lose. Vesper. I'm gonna bring up the joke about the elongated balloon again. More of an OC than a Sona, though. Yeah. I would like to be around a possum, a rat. What other rodents and marsupials can I think about? You know, I'm surprised Mechatronic Dragon, Vesper, isn't a kangaroo, being a true-blooded Aussie that he is. Or a dingo. I don't know, I don't think I want to be around a skunk. They panic. You know, you scared. Boo. Ah! Like, you know, they do the skunk thing. Trotsky says, my favorite furry tropes are when my friends talk about their own personality qualities as represented by the fursona species. Ain't you thankful I'm not a snake? Oh, I'm still like slippery and... yes. What's your setup? A VR headset, a computer, and a whole lot of patience and impromptu skills. Esper replies, I'm surprised honestly. Yes, he's someone who is very active too, right? If I had like, if I was Mecha, true-blooded Aussie, I'd always have like the big knife, the hat with like the gator teeth and whatnot, the cocky top, and then whenever I spawn in, there's the didgeridoo. Was gonna be like gummy goo. You're really not leaning into the lizard trope, right in the middle of some. You see, there's a reason as to why. It's on the Discord. A machete wielding crocodile. It's a croc. This is not a knife. This is a knife. I haven't watched Aussie Man reviews in so long. Now that I think about it, I need to watch that guy again. New hair looks good, right? Nice old brush up. Wow. Already 1 hour? Not so quick. Oh. It's that time to look. You know, Salis, if you're still there, because you have bat in your name, I was anticipating you to actually be a bat in VR chat. Then, to my surprise, you were a snow leopard, was it? A German Tiger H1 heavy tank. Okay. Thanks. Wow. Stretch. Stretch. It's important. Ooh. Vertebrae lock. Ooh. Wow. That's a lot of sounds my body's making. There we go. Oh, shoot, you're real. Oh my, he's not just some AI filter. That you have to check in Google. Very easy though, more of a drag and drop thing. I get the same things as Zerda. Zerda is a Fennec, but I am a dragon, so you pick one. Thanks, Ash. Loki, what's your specs and face tracking? Again, I'm using the MetaQuest Pro and then my good old computer. Nothing fancy. Well, I now use Vive trackers for full body tracking and yeah, I don't know, Vives are just more convenient, though in exchange for comfortability. What would be the lizard trope, Stratsky? Tell me. How do the lizards hanging around you act and present themselves? Vesper replies, Google your specs, people. He's Gebus, not Google. Oh my god, that's... I feel like it's been a year since I've heard you use that line. You've upgraded to Vibe since when? I believe when I moved to my apartment. I've always had Vibes. I just never had a space to put, you know, to actually use them. There's just so much occlusion going on. Hello? Chicken bat. What's happening? Do you by any chance have a favorite TV show or anime? I can't remember. The Boys? Invincible, Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo. I used to have slimes, but I moved on from them. Lizards do the tongue thing. What tongue thing is? I think it's bad manners, though. Get back to the past, Jack. Ah, God. Man, I also recently watched this thing called Primal. Really good. Johnny Bravo, you're definitely from my gen. Who? Yes. Never forget. Cold-blooded, says Vesper. Like always seeking warmth. Can't stand the cold, my guy. This man lives in a tropical climate. He's constantly seeking cooler temperatures via AC. I live in a place that is constantly overheating. Oh, a party of 6 is raiding me. Archers, deploy your bows. Hello, Davy. And Tool Silvertail, it seems like you're a tiny little D&D group with a name, Tool Silvertail. Rolls 812. But yes, thank you. What were you up to? Playing VR chat games. Thank you, Byron Harold. I feel I live in Arizona and I feel your pain, says Zerda. Ooh. At least it's hot but dry, right? Here it's hot and humid. Oh, so humid. The sticky kind of humid. Does he sound kind of like a kinder version of Aku? Oh. Just doing some caroling. Caroling? It's much nicer when the heat feels like the inside of an owl. That's true. The radiating warmth. Also, I'm thirsty, so pardon me, I shall self-hydrate. You guys need to drink too. Come on, it's time. Almost touching it will almost do. Delicious. I feel like the lore of what the dragon could be from his voice. It's gotta be some sort of professor. Listen. I may not be academically smart, but I am at least wise and street smart. That's for sure. I know how to deal with problems and offer practical solutions. One last Merry Christmas, Galaxy. Thanks, Zerda. Gosh, how nice of you. You're kind of floating next to the stool. That's true. There you go. Thanks. Merry Christmas, you handsome beast. Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you solved your little breathing problems when you were sleeping. Hello, Lux. Fountain Fairy. Now, give me a moment. Let me double check. Contigo sending me a Christmas greeting. These posts are stunning. Yep. This. We have people trying to get into the server. Yes, there we go. It's Alex and Tool. Good luck trying to get the password. It's not that difficult, promise. I'm sure you can get it. Doing well. Good. What's this? In all fairness, your Abby probably had the best quality for face. Me, the best, please. The Quest Pro is, well, it works reliably. Not the best, but it works. Of course, I celebrate Christmas. Why on earth would I be dressed in white and red instead of my usual noir black? Excuse me. Professor, huh? Well, I do have a thing or two too that I want to teach a lot of the younger folk nowadays, especially when it comes to common sense. Disappointing. It's twitchy. Maybe you've considered cleaning your camera lenses. What face tracking do you use? This is a custom tailored version built on top of Hantor's face tracking. Bit of tinkering here in Blender. Shape keys. Common sense, what's that? Yeah, there's a reason we rarely see each other now, damn. While you're at it, yes. Didn't I just stretch? I could have sworn I stood up and stretched, Salis. But, oh man. Oh, wow. Uh-oh. Chat? Something slid off my arm, which is my power pack. Everybody's asking, can you breathe fire? I have an inkling that's like AI generated at this point. Like, the subject looks to be a humanoid dragon. What message do we send that is somewhat related or relatable to said streamer? Can you breathe fire? No. The same way not all birds can fly. This is nice. This is peaceful. It's just snow. Lots and lots of snow before me. Span it around. It's very pretty. It sure is, isn't it? Hello, Mr. Gibbos. Wow, welcome to Twitch, Mr. Goodman. Nice to see you again. I wish you a great and awesome Christmas from Germany. How do I reply to that again? Thank you. I hope you have a good Christmas too. Man, it seems like nobody wants to do the little meetup after stream. I might just hop off and do some math instead. Division. Sounds like a more interesting oh wait, no, Vesper's not there, is she? Oh well. What can we do? I'm able to show up after. Oh my god. Gotta remind the teacher that there's a homework. You. I wish I could join, but I'm not home. Wow. What time are you gonna be home, Vince? How long? What but meet up? Are you gonna show up on the meetup? Sounds. Hello, Nor, the mighty Draung. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Come play War Thunder. I'm good. I'm glad I'm out of the snail's clutches already. Merry Christmas, Gebbles, and everybody who's his first time being here. Most Merry Christmas, indeed. By the way, I like your cool new jacket. Where did you make it yourself? I retextured my tailcoat. It's the same old tailcoat that I've been using since before. Thanks, cutie pie. I ate too much Christmas food. Oof. I hope it was good. Merry Christmas. Love your videos. Thanks, Tabby. Cool. Yeah. Thank you. It was too tasty. Well, at least you enjoyed, right? That's what matters. A most satisfying Christmas dinner. Good luck, Mr. Goodman. Also, again, I decided to test my knowledge for a motorcycle license. I passed during the first try. Congratulations, you are closer to your two-wheel dreams, Tim. Stream's going okay. Understandable how most people are busy, seeing as it's Christmas Eve. One should be with their family, their friends, their loved ones, more than tuning into some random streamer. Definitely. But Paris, look, Mr. Dactyl. Listen, that's what we all streamers do is foster a sort of parasocial relationship with our viewers. It just all is in varying degrees. And most of the ladies, they take it to real bad extremes. Guys like me, I actually end up being friends with most of my viewers, which is funny. Welcome back. Are you excited for Christmas? It's already Christmas here. I'm happy to end my Christmas day here watching your stream. Yes. I hope you have had a good one. Waffle kind. Hello, Fox. A splitted family, it's a bit difficult, says Roland Goodman. Well, at least you have one. I don't have family at all. I separated myself from my household many, many years ago. Been going solo ever since. 50% chance, Pillow. It's mystic. Mystic with a C. Ah. The only inconvenience I have about this Christmas season is here I am waiting for my parcels to arrive, which is specifically for my plumbing, and it's gonna be delayed. I really need that water reservoir so I can fix things. Were you kicked out or where did you leave? I left. I simply never returned one day. You see, when religion is used to control you via fear and threats, you are definitely not under a good roof. If anything, it taught me to be stronger, independent, really gave me a good outlook at life and the challenges of living alone with no support unit on call. Like, "Brrr, Mom, I need some help. There's like, I screwed up and yeah, can you please pick me up? Can I borrow $50 or. No, none of that. If I make any mistakes, that's for my entire shoulders to bear. Made the right choice. Oh, most definitely. Thing is, unlike most people who self exile, I don't hold any bitterness in my heart. It did not turn me into a toxic or hateful person. If anything, it taught me to love people more. When you were younger, what was the one thing you look forward to during Christmas? I've always wanted to get an Xbox 360. I've wanted to play Gears of War and Halo. Never happened. If only. Good on you, Mr. Goodman. Cherish that. Huh. I finally managed to play Halo Combat Evolved when it came out on the PC. Amazing. Tool actually managed to make it in. Now all Tool needs to do is. There we go. That's the introductions. Music writing, photography, gem collecting. Uh huh. VR world collecting. That's new. Very, very one with the forest, I see. Okay, now let's see their Twitter. Visit site, Tool Silvertail. Ooh. What's this? I see Pocahontas, yes. Nice, nice. Okay, okay. Nice patterns. I like the white. Cool. Oh, I have 4 notifications from who? Who is this? Good night, Gapples. Take care and Merry Christmas. See you, Larkspur. Thanks for dropping by. You enjoy your Christmas Eve. Guys, listen to me. If you're in the middle of a Christmas gathering, watching me is not the right thing to do. I should be at the bottom of your priorities. Go spend your time with your loved ones. Go mingle, catch up with them. Who knows when you'll see them again, right? Turn 25, it would be good to own a house. Own a house. I don't think I'll ever own a house in my lifetime. With how bad the economy is. If you have enough money to do it, then congratulations. I would put you on the TV as a background for the Christmas gathering, says Satan. Hey Satan, how you doing? Welcome back. Would miss you too much though. Okay, Vesper. Lord says, good thing I've had the family meetup and now it's lazy times. Guess I can't shake you guys off, huh? Bombar goes, I'm trying to organize the annual video call with my family. We're several time zones away. Colonel, it's Christmas Eve. Do we have anything special planned for today? Is he? Yes, the Christmas call. Invest your money if you want to own a house. I'm 22 and had my own place. Congratulations! Pat yourself on the back. Heck no, you ain't getting rid of this draung. Feel free to sit. Pull up a seat, exclamation point tip, and then get comfortable. Merry Crimbo, says Litz. If it ain't the coolest cat, no, raccoon in the block. Dumpster diving with swag and composure. Hello, Litz. My throat still hurts from yesterday's bout of humor. Ouch. I'm not reading that, Bombar. You'll fit in the chimney. Somebody needs to go on a diet. Would be nice though. Get my own little garden, quiet mountainside house. Hope it doesn't get swept away by landslides. Anything away from the heat of the city. Hey, dumpster diver. It seems Nord find it funny the way I describe Blitz. How are you guys doing? Taking care of all those unsupervised souls? At least Vespers need to mod. Oh, Star Riding. What's your favorite Christmas song if you've got one? Silver bells. Silver bells. Silver bells. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ring-a-ling. Ding-a-ling. Thanks, too. Also, congratulations on getting in on the server. Yeah, what sort of music do you enjoy aside from smooth jazz? I've recently gotten into listening to Armenian duduk music. It's this epic flute thing. It's so nice. So that means I mostly listen to atmospherics and OSTs. I guess I like a wide range of music. I like techno, I like trance, electronic, I like meme songs, traditional ones, not country, most definitely not rap. The German Christmas song. Oh, the Heidel. No, that's not it. That's not it. Likes the no, no, no. Stop it. I'm now. You're not infecting my mind. It's Merry Christmas, Booster. Lumiland. Mm-hmm. Ah, my favorite German song. Vesper goes, unsupervised adults. I mean, it's unsupervised. Supervised if there are multiple adults and only 3 kids. The joys of still being at the kids' table. Yes. Ramstein's, it's good. But metal is a tad bit too heavy for me to be listening to all the time. Because I woke up around 2 a.m. Hello, Texas. Yeah, but I feel like you're married. False. I am not married. Yes, chat, I am not betrothed. There is no wife. Nor do I have any intention of fathering kids. I keep on telling chat. Remember, making kids is the easy part, the fun part, but taking care of them is not. A husband, dear, no, please. This streamer very much prefers the ladies. Thank you. I mean, I do appreciate my male friends and whatnot. Can't say no to a good looking body when it comes to admiration. But anything past that point, please, has to be female from since day one. I don't like the manufactured females now. I like them organic. Ooh. Hello, CJ. I heard my name, or am I imagining things? You probably are imagining things, as per you always do. I'd be very glad if you bring your baby dragon on this live. I just told you, I'm not a dad. I don't want to be a dad. What? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe 2. Maybe 3. I'll leave you to guess. Let me just say that titles are such burdensome things. They're very limiting. You let relationships evolve naturally, organically, dynamically. I've never heard manufactured in that context. Fascinating. Think about it. I could go into the topic, but now surely the internet would cancel this black and blue fellow at the speed of light. People asked about my preferences and I answered. Hmm. How long were you planning on streaming today? 2 hours stops. Which means I have 25 minutes remaining, chat. I can't do the full long stream. Alright, I gotta skedaddly do the aforementioned meetup with the people who are gonna show up. Excuse me, I'm so gassy. What? Gotta be your truest self and like what you like. Exactly. 45? You must have misheard. It was 25. I will skedaddle and hi and then yes, just Babu. See ya. Gotta go have a good day or night. Bye-bye. Gab, are your ears connected to your emotions? Yes, they are. They make it very difficult to lie. I'm bringing a pie. Is there water in the water container? Yes. It's funny now that I think about it. I like my ladies organic, not manufactured. Right? Ooh. Hey, gotta pick healthy. Mr. Goodman, you didn't have to, but thank you. See ya. Do you breathe fine? Again, I do not breathe fine. Again, everything I'm saying is in the tone of satire and humor, okay? Take everything, every word that comes out of my mouth with a grain of salt. Thanks, I appreciate it. Gosh, I ran into you about once. Being tagged along by Howler during our absolutely terrible horror map thing. It's could have been better. That doll world. Would not recommend. It's absolute garbage. I was sure I don't know them. You're still a growing person, so you need to all the rest in order to develop properly. Good night, Booster. You rest well. Only 5 months left until your birthday. Ooh, the pangs of hunger surely are growing louder. I will most definitely grab a snack after stream. Charge my trackers really quick too. I will open the instance right after stream so people can go hop in. But I will be AFK for around 10 minutes. 5 months left until it's clearly it's 5 months until Christmas. Most definitely. 100%. Gosh, I wouldn't have known if you didn't tell me it was 5 months away. Also, to those curious, again, these are my goggles, okay? I don't have them on my head anymore. Opinion on the Iron Mouse song. Unfortunately, I don't really consume other VTubers' content. The only streamer I really watch is Queso. He's too big of a streamer to miss. Yeah, Howler's a good guy. Good friend. Hello, Daryl. Who are you, the old detective? I like the little pouch in the leg. Yeah, it's where I keep my notes and whatnot. Oh, you're right. I need to end stream soon too because my fellow countrymen will be awake really, really soon. Trotsky says, I went on a Carinderia video binge after the last stream. Delicious, right? You see, Filipino street food is actually palatable. It's good, unlike, let's say, India. Casual as you. He is a very humorous person, that's for sure. That's why I like him sticking around. It makes me laugh. He's good company. Good morning and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Shopa. Ano, may nag-DM na ba sa'yo? Wow, gustong gusto ko yung commission na ginawa mo. Baka pwedeng ako din. Why do you keep changing angle? That is called camera work, darling. I've had Filipino food and it's very good, says Mayday. Right? You should try crispy bagnet. Oh my goodness. Just dip it in some gravy or some vinegar. I wish. Kamusta Pasko sa inyo, Shopa? Family over there? Gifts, food. Merry Christmas. Kiriso. Well. I'm excited for the celebration later. Oh, it's later. I thought you would do it while it's Christmas midnight. Everything with gravy. 100%. Cereal? Yeah, with gravy. Ketchup, mayonnaise. Yeah, it's gonna be loud. Oh, good luck dealing with the karaoke. Man, it's already 6:09 a.m. Oh, how quickly time flies. We usually celebrate Noche Buena on the 25th midnight and Xmas on the 25th evening because of the big family gatherings. An expanded clan, I see. This is the first time I heard Tagalog. Bakit? Marunong naman ako magsalita. Hindi ko lang ginagamit. English yung wikang. Pinipili ko habang ako nagsistream. If you understood what I said, it means I need to leave stream. The more Pinoys there are, the worse my chat is going to get, unfortunately. Oh, Kuya, can you do a flip? Kuya, what color is it? Kuya, can you bark like a dog? Kuya, can you make the tuko sound? Ooh, Your jacket is so slay. Merry Christmas. I'm back, says Knoxfur. I never left. Just a prolonged absence. Ito na lang hindi ako ganyan. Thank you for being such a good, polite, and respectable member of my community. Oh, it seems Miss Salas is still here. Are you going to be attending the community meet, Batty? There's quite a number of people waiting. Figured I'd add you to the head count if you could confirm. Kuya means big brother in Tagalog and Filipino. Yes. It's like when somebody calls you kuya, it means hey big bro or ate, right? Ate. Hey big sis. It's analogous to how they do it in China as well. Or in Korea. How do they call it? Like they add the name or they sometimes call them opa. No, pandesal no.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! My gosh, Strutsky, hero of the evening before we cap the stream. Thank you so much. Where the heck do you get all these extra money? Oh my goodness. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So much love. It really flatters me. I feel like I saw you in VR chat sometime. Maybe, did you? Stretch. Oops, I'm clipping into the stool. There we go. Got to go. Heading home. See ya. Hope. Oh, I attend to. I'm on my way home right now. All right. Guess I'll see you later. Man, we're so close to actually filling the bar. What to do? It's okay, chat. I won't hold it against you even if we don't reach the goal. It's alright. Send it over to the people that deserve it more, right? See you around, Cyan. Bye. What is this I'm rolling in my toes? It's like a bottle. Yes, Waffle. To fill or not to fill? I don't know. It's up to you. But know that I'm gonna be really happy. Unfortunately, I don't have any. Oh! What? A flip to refill the. Is somebody asking for a wager? It's been so long. Good night, Anton. You know what? For old time's sake, sure. Big meal. Love or death? This is love, the hearts. And this is death, the skull. Which side will you be on? You can bet along with me as well, chat. If I win, well, we're gonna see the bar move. If I lose, you ask something special of me that I can fulfill on stream that's within Twitch's TOS. How's that sound? Huh? Feeling lucky. Alright, love for me. Anybody else who wants to lock in and join? Toss your chips on the table. The more people, the bigger the payout. Oh, Gab, can you say the 100k redeem on stream in a Christmas special way? Hey, Gab, what do you look like underneath that coat? Because we're curious about the patterns. What are we wagering here? If I win, money goes to the bar. If I lose, everything I just said earlier, which is just examples. You have 10 seconds to decide. Love or death? Hearts or skull? Love, okay. Awful card for skull. Alright, sure. Everybody on the hearts. If the coin lands on this side, you win. If it lands not on that side, like this, well, I win. Are you guys ready? And so we count 4, 3, 2, 1, and so we flip. I wonder what the result could be. Oh my, oh my! Now, how many voted for love? Mio, Mitzi, right? Stratsky, Shopao, and Axiom. And how many voted for what's on the other side? That would be me and Waffle. Okay. So, chat, what side do you think did the coin land on? Oops. Oh my goodness! Even a year later, it seems Mio still is not lucky with the wagers. My goodness. Oh well. Oh, funny. MEOWs and redeems involving that on stream. Come on, pay up, punk. Thanks for playing the game.
Nothing new, right? Merry Christmas, Jebby less than 3.
Merry Christmas, Mia. Ain't it such a delightful reunion, right? No Paul Redeem week. I don't know. Double or nothing? Stratsky. What do you say? Also, thanks. We actually managed to fill the bar. The also elusive Pobos Cam. Pobos is this. That's what's the wager. If I win, you add more to our funny little Christmas fund. If I lose, well, you said something about balls. I wonder what that could be. I'm just gonna eat good tonight. The sashimi was actually expensive. It's $12 for a small tray. Hello, Gam. Going once and going twice. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm not gonna try and milk you of money. It's okay. With that being said, thank you, everybody who supported me today. I did. Well, I hope I somehow made your day just as bright as you have made mine. I will see you again day after tomorrow, probably. Or maybe I take an extra day break and I see you on Monday. Back to my regular programming. You guys go enjoy the Christmas season first. What? I take it? Really? Alright, fine. Before we go, goodbyes. What would it be? Stratsky? Is it love? Is it death? Heart or skull? Action. I gotta stick with love. Wonder if you will be lucky.
Almost touching it will almost do.
All right, fine.
There's a part of me that's
Last chance. You sure you want to stick with love? Not this? Going once, going twice. And so we've locked in. Again. Hearts, Strutsky wins. Go, I win. And so we flip. I wonder what. Are you sure you don't wanna change? You're gonna stick with whatever result is on this coin. I'll give you one last chance. Start, boy. Oh my god, okay. So be it. Ah! Oh no, it's blurry. What could it be? Ah. Didn't give Ostratsky a chance. Unfortunately, the house wins this round. but, I am nice, so there shall be a consolation prize. It's rigged! Yes. Gambler's fallacy. How about this? Let's do a quick reflip. Just for fun. Oh, if there was a reflip, Strutsky would have won. So unlucky. Mia, what was the score again? I think you were winning 70% and I was losing 30. You're one of the lucky gamblers. Thank you so much.
For the fun of being challenged to a wager live on stream.
Thank you so much. There, consolation prize. I don't know what word this is. So stupid. Anywho, no, really, I gotta go. I'm gonna go eat, right? I'm gonna think. I'm gonna pocket the $25 that Strutsky just gave me. Gonna buy some food, and then I'll see you in VR chat. Your score is about 50 minus 10. It's the other way around, I swear. Never been shown down there. Buy a kebab, if only. But yes. Alright, how do I do this? I gotta sit back down. Okay, one first. Bye everyone. See you again. See ya. By Zerion again? Trying to remember. Anywho. Bye, everyone. Merry Christmas. Sorry I had to go do this awkward angle. You go back and enjoy your Christmas dinner, right? Happy holidays. See ya.